Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about exponent rules and dividing, so similar to the problems you see up on the screen here. Just a reminder, this is the speedrun version where we go through it pretty quickly. If you want the normal version, I'll link that in the description below. For your Ricasso Recap, you should already know how to work with negative exponents, how to make them positive. If you want a refresher on this, there'll be a video in the description below. Please go watch that before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So for this problem, it says to simplify and use positive exponents in your answer. So for this one, I'm going to give you the answer. The final answer is 2c to the 12th power. And your job is, can you figure out how I got to this answer? What's the pattern or the rule? And so go ahead and pause the video if you want to try it on your own. Okay, now they've had time to think about this. The way I got this answer is I looked at the regular numbers. So I did 10 divided by 5, which gave me the 2 that goes here. So I divided the regular old numbers. And then for the exponents, how did I get this positive 12? Well, what I did is I looked at the c's. Because they're both c, I subtracted the exponents. I did, and I tell students, think of the fraction bar as a giant subtraction symbol. So this is saying 8 minus negative 4. Don't need the parentheses if that makes you uncomfortable. It's just 8 minus negative 4, which is the same as 8 plus 4, which is 12. And that's how I end up with this 12 here. Okay, and that's how we get all of our numbers. We divide the regular numbers and subtract the exponents. All right, let's try that here. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. For the v's, I'm going to do 2 minus negative 1, which is 3. So I get v to the third. Then for the w's, I'm going to do negative 1. And remember, if you don't see an exponent, there's an invisible 1 there. So this is negative 1 minus 1, which is negative 2. So we're getting negative 2. And the instructions say we can only write it with positive exponents. That's pretty standard for math. So we should already know how to make this positive. Remember, this is all over 1. Okay, everything's over 1. And we want to make this positive. We don't need to move this. We only need to move the w. So 4v cubed stays in the top, and we get 1w squared, or to the second power. And now this is our final answer. Normally we don't write the 1 here, so really the answer would look just like this. All right, last type of problem. 9 divided by 9 is 1. For the t, we do 2 minus 1. Whoops, got cut off there a little bit. 2 minus 1, which is 1. So we're getting t to the 1 power. Now for the u's, remember there's 1's here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. For the u's and the v's, I guess, okay, for u and v, we're doing 1 minus 1, which is 0. So we're getting u to the 0, v to the 0. Anything to the 0 power just becomes a normal 1, not a small 1, a normal-sized 1, a regular 1. The u and the v are going to disappear. So this really becomes 1 to the first power. Remember, this is all multiplied, 1 and 1. Well, when you multiply this 1 and this 1 and this 1, you just get 1 back. So we're getting 1t to the first power. And remember, we don't normally write all of these invisible 1s in our final answer. So the final answer here is just t, right? This is t to the first power. We just don't write it. They're invisible. So all that to get t. All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these 2 problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now they've had time to work these problems. Let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem here is the work. Should have gotten some negative exponents. Final answer is 1 over t to the 4th, u to the first power. Again, just not going to write that 1. This one, okay, you have to write this one because otherwise there would be nothing in the top of a fraction. That doesn't make any sense. And for the second problem here is the work. Final answer should have been 3q to the 4th power, r to the first power, s to the first power. All right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.